Vitold Frank Wallace was born to immigrant Polish parents in 1914, but everyone knew him as Bikes. Imagine, if you can, being born prior to the Spanish flu epidemic of 1919, which he survived, his sister did not, and then go to high school in the deepest part of the Great Depression. Bikes did. He graduated from Amesbury High School as a member of the class of 1931. Being a quiet and reserved young man, it was written by his yearbook editors, Bikes does not tell his thoughts except to his closest friends. We'll bet they're worth more than a penny. Ironically, the quote he chose for his yearbook entry was, "A little nonsense now and then is relished by the most serious men." Regardless of his subdued demeanor, Bikes was an active participant in AHS athletics. He played football, basketball, and baseball all 4 years. Bikes earned his varsity letter as a sophomore on a very successful 1928 football team. Earning that most prestigious Capital Block A was an extremely unusual feat for a sophomore in those days. Bikes was a starter at the tight end position in his freshman and sophomore years and as a lineman in his junior and senior years. He was captain of the 1930 squad. The 1928 to 1930 squad had great success on the gridiron, and Bikes played no small part in that success. Bikes went on to play collegiate football at several schools such as Boston University and the University of Wyoming. Baseball was Bikes' favorite sport to participate in from year to year. At AHS, he was on the 1929 to 1931 teams as a pitcher and first baseman. At the plate, his highest batting average was a respectable .303 in 1931. Bikes played in many summer leagues and at every prep school and college he attended. He continued to play well into his adult years in local summer leagues. Basketball records at AHS are very limited in those early years. Bikes did play basketball all 4 years at AHS and was captain his junior and senior years and high scorer in the junior year. Bikes also played collegiate basketball for 2 seasons. During his high school years and beyond, he helped coach a local church team. It was through this basketball experience that Bikes caught the coaching bug, which he brought to AHS after his college playing days were over. Hired at Amesbury High School in the summer of 1942, Bikes started his teaching career that fall, but left to join our armed forces in World War II. Bikes had joined the Navy and served as a combat photographer aboard the USS Bella Wood in the Pacific. He was honorably discharged on September 29, 1945. He returned to AHS where he taught social studies courses until his retirement in 1977. During those 32 years of service, Bikes became Coach Wallace to hundreds of young Amesbury boys. Bikes' coaching career covered football, basketball, and baseball. He coached at all levels in each sport over the years. Bikes has had an impact on more Amesbury children than most other coaches in town, given his longevity in the classroom and in athletics. Doug Wood, his last AD, said of Bikes, "Vito was a consummate educator/coach at AHS. He bled red, white, and gray." Doug went on to say, "Few coaches have been as dedicated to the alma mater as was Bikes." Bikes served as a basketball head coach in the 1950 to 1956 seasons, head baseball coach in 1956, as varsity assistant in all 3 sports at different times, and as the freshman coach in all 3 sports as well. Bikes was a mentor to many future coaches to come out of AHS. Dave Bailey, former football and track coach at AHS, said, "I was very fortunate to have had Bikes as a coach during my sophomore and junior years in varsity football. When I became a volunteer football coach, I couldn't ask for a more rewarding experience my first year coaching. He got me to deal with all aspects of the game. Bikes was a great mentor to me that first year and helped me to realize how much I loved the game and coaching." In addition to his teaching and coaching duties, Bikes was a class advisor for AHS classes 1951, 1956, and 1961. He was the advisor of the Canteen Club in 1954 and 1955, and he also ran the Parks program in town for several years. Lastly, he would invite some boys from town to join him during summer vacations and travel throughout our country. Bikes Wallace was dedicated to AHS and the children of Amesbury and rightly deserves a place on the AHS Athletic Hall of Fame.
Representing for the Wallace family is one of our members, Chris Udon.
As Sammy said, I'm a member of the Amesbury High School Hall of Fame Committee and also a class of 1986 Fighting Indian. I asked to speak here tonight on behalf of Vitold Bikes Wallace. I asked to speak because I had an association with Bikes that no other committee member had. Several played football, basketball, or baseball on Bikes' coach team. A couple of the committee members even knew him from the town summer playground. I had a somewhat unique privilege to have gone on one of those cross-country treks back in 1982 as I entered as a freshman in Amesbury High School. Excuse me. He emphasized effort and hard work, perseverance and tenacity, learn from your mistakes and failure, but never be afraid to try. Some will talk about his teaching style and how easy it was to take him away from his lessons, or his coaching style, never being upset over a loss or too excited with a win. But perhaps most never saw the basic principles behind Spike's actions. That is, we learn through play. We learn through fairness, humility, cooperation, belief in oneself, and respect. In closing tonight, Spike was a consummate gentleman and a true humanitarian. Thank you.